So again, hi, my name is Lillian Amrine, and I am the Postsecondary and Career Counselor. And this evening, we are going to be talking about the High School and Beyond Plan, which is a Washington State graduation requirement, and and the Naviance tool that we have in order to track that High School and Beyond Plan that is required again by Washington State. So again, thank you for being here. This evening, we wanted to talk about what the High School and Beyond Plan is, the why and the purpose of the HSBP and Naviance, the implementation, and understanding how to log into Naviance, and then also get a bit of a tour of Naviance. So PSD's mission, is to prepare every child to be a successful global citizen. And the High School and Beyond Plan has requirements. One is to identify career goals and educational opportunities for the students to explore their skills and interests. We have assessments that need to be implemented. There's a 4-year course plan that aligns with future goals, a resume or activity log, a personalized pathway for graduation, interventions and supports, a CTE record, which is career and technical education record, and an updated, this is to be updated annually to accommodate changing interests and goals. The High School and Beyond Plan, it must be initiated for each student during the 7th or 8th grade. That's why we've invited both the middle school and the high school parents, families to be with us. It needs to be updated each year until the student graduates. In preparation for that initiation, each student must first be administered a career interest and skills inventory in the 7th or 8th grade. When was the HSBP implemented? OSPI, which is the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction, in 2020, they had signed in a bill that the High School and Beyond Plan was to be implemented. But we've really been doing this much longer in the Peninsula. Schools were for after high school, and the pathway they wanted to do. We asked a lot of questions, and we have career interest surveys done in the past as well. We used a Google Doc. Used our college career exploration. And also, the career counselor has also been able to hit the financial aid piece of the High School and Beyond Plan. Enhanced guidance. So putting those together is you could say target, or you could say target. You could say so it's like navigate or Naviance, but it's navigate. Let's see, I'm going to stop for just a second and make sure that I'm not missing anything. I'm hoping that you all can hear me. Okay. My voice keeps cutting in and out. So can you hear me now? Would you put that in the Q&A? I'll try to speak louder. Can you all hear me still? Okay. You can hear me now. Okay. I'll do the best that I can. I'm really sorry. I don't know if it's storming out, but typically I usually have a pretty good connection. So I'm really sorry about that. I'll do the best that I can with this. Let me try one other thing. I'm going to stop sharing after I pause the recording. So, yeah, is it has inspired the heart of its unique journey to excellence. So we're really excited about having this tool. And why did we choose Naviance? In 2021, we wanted to find an equitable tool for students to use across the district. We got together district staff, school counselors, teachers, and students to review 3 tools, and that happened to rise to the top. What Naviance can do is help students with their self-discovery, academic organization, college and post-secondary preparation, and career exploration. They come in the form of college matching tools, personality tests, surveys, career assessments, quick planning, and it's also a great feature is that it can be students can access things. Or a student is not a English speaker and wants to hear it in a different language, they have different languages that this can be interpreted into. So hopefully this is going to work for you. I'm going to turn this up for success. Wow. Could put each student on a personalized path to future success. And counselors and administrators could provide useful guidance to students about college and career decisions. And that's the story behind Naviance. It's a comprehensive college and career guidance solution that empowers students and families to connect learning and life. It provides schools and districts with the information they need to help students prepare for life after high school. Naviance allows students to create a plan for their futures by helping them discover their individual strengths and learning styles and explore career options based. I think that it sounds like people can't hear the audio. I'm so sorry about that. It's just a short video just explaining how Naviance can help with the long-term and short-term goals for students. So again, I apologize for this. It's worked in the past, and again, it's just technology, but this Naviance can help students identify their long-term goals, establish a course of study, make their high school and beyond plans actionable. It offers the assistance and resources to help students pursuing higher ed degrees. But bottom line, it helps them to be intentional about their courses and what they want to choose as they go into their 8th, 9th, and all the way through their senior year and into post-high school education. So I need to pivot a little bit as we go along here. At some point in time, I am going to pause because I will pull some slides that sounds like the audio on the videos that there's one more video that I was going to show, but I have some slides that will cover what is in that video. So I will take a pause and change some things and then have to pivot here. So I appreciate again your patience in this. So hopefully you'll understand this right now, the overview of the capabilities that Naviance has for your students. Bottom line, we want them to be intentional about what they're going to choose as they're heading into, especially into their high school years. So the implementation plan is one that we've been collaborating on. Each building has been working with their administrative staff in terms of the timeline and lessons and the curriculum areas, if they're going to do it in homeroom or in their advisory areas, or if they're going to do it in curriculum areas for each level. And this is a 6 through 12 grade curriculum. So here is that video, but I'm going to skip that. So benefits for Naviance for families: it increases the engagement, it fosters collaboration for everyone, and it streamlines the college career life readiness processes, promotes equity and access, and it improves students' career, college, and life readiness outcomes. And so those are studies that have been done. Right now I'm going to stop sharing. Again, like I said, I'm going to pivot here and make sure that I pull up some slides that you all will be able to see how to actually access Naviance and what it looks like for students. So I believe this is pretty important for you to see. And then before I move on to that, I will then have you take a look. I'll take a look at the Q&A, and thank you for, again, I don't have somebody monitoring that, so I'm having to take a look at that myself and pivoting between a shared screen and all of that. So I'm hoping that you're giving me lots of grace tonight. Let's see. Yes. So first I have to make sure that I don't skip slides that were covered in the video in my presentation. I did have this prepared that way. I just need to put it back on slideshow mode. Okay. And then I need to share it with you. Oh, and before I do that, I will take a look at, okay, thank you that you can hear me well. It says, my understanding that some of the tasks in Naviance are already completed in CCFE. Yes, and how will that be handled? When the tasks are completed in CCFE, which is our College Career Financial Exploration class, by the senior year, we're able to run reports and see who's completed and who has not completed specific tasks. So that's how things will be checked off, if that's what the question specifically is asking. So I'm hoping I answered that one there. Let's see. I'm going to share the screen again, make sure I have the right one up. There we go. Okay, so how students can access Naviance. From their PSD portal, they will click on the green folder that has assessment tools. And in there, they'll click on the icon that looks like a compass and it has Naviance on it. On the home page of Naviance, it looks like this. They will click on the tabs across the headings of the page to see what students will see and have access to. In the self-discovery one, you'll see, now not all of these will be on here for every student because it depends on what year they are. So a 7th grader might only have the career cluster finder, or they might have the career cluster finder and the career interest profiler there. But as a senior, these will continue to get loaded more and more because these particular ones are what we as a district have decided that needs to be rolled out certain times as tasks that need to be completed, and the students are held accountable for their high school and beyond plan. The bottom one you see that's called Strengths Explorer, that one is only able to be taken once. And so we have assigned that in either the freshman or the sophomore year. And statistically, they say that this one really doesn't change much. So the other ones, though, students can take more than one time. So it's kind of fun to see maybe the growth or how things have changed if they wanted to, especially take something like the career interest profiler, maybe as a 7th or 8th grader. And then when they get again into maybe the sophomore year, as they start to want to hone down what their interests are and what career pathway they want to go to. But it's great for them to take a look at their personality and skills, where they have their strengths and things like that. So those are fun for students to do. Under the careers tab, they have lots of things to explore there. So in the career exploration, they can explore careers on their own. They can explore the clusters and the pathways. And based upon some of those assessments, some of their favorites, that's why the heart is there. So if they favorite certain careers and clusters, it begins to filter things out. So if a student has a more of a bent towards, say, science and natural resources, and maybe not towards arts and communication, if they favorite some of those clusters, those things will rise to the top. And then also pathways of study will rise that will tie them to that pathway in that cluster. This one's fairly new. This military exploration is one, so people can take a look at different military branches. And then there's also this experiential exploration where they can search job opportunities possibly out there. Work-based learning we don't have this year, but what's really cool is these stories right here in the Explore Road Trip Nation videos are, what Naviance has done is taken interviews of people in all sorts of job situations and then posted those videos on here. So if a student is interested in being an electrician, they can type in electrician and it will pop up all these different videos of folks who are in that field. Maybe they want to be an aeronautics engineer, so they can pop that up. Somebody who is manages a store, or a restaurant or in the tourism industry. So there's all these different videos. There's hundreds there for students to explore. So this is really a neat feature that they have here on Naviance. Under the college tabs, this is where the students have, again, a great place to explore in terms of what's going to be a good fit for them for post-high school. Now, I know it says colleges, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're telling every student to go straight to a four-year school. So there are two-year, four-year technical college specialty schools that are also listed on here. So when you're looking at Supermatch College Search, as they go through, you can see different things that students can explore. They can put in if they want to go to a large school, a small school, they want to have a four-year program, a two-year program, a technical. Those are different things that they can put in there, and then it filters out filters in, I should say, all of the schools that will match what their criteria is. So a student starts to look into there's some really great things to discover. And again, they can change things out and just see like, oh, I'm looking at a school that's in the urban setting. And then, well, maybe I changed my mind as I've spent some time maybe on a college campus or a specialty school that's in an urban setting. I think I'd rather have something that's more suburban or something like that. Then they can change that out and it filters things in a different way. There's other things that you can use. We don't use this applying to college right now. We don't have that loaded for us, but that's okay. There's still things, again, that heart is where they can favorite things. So as they are favoriting certain colleges, it will filter into this area here. And then one of the things right here is scholarships and money. And even now, students can start to look, no matter how old they are, to see if there possibly might be some scholarships they can apply to. So this college-specific scholarships, that's a nationwide search that's there that is managed by Naviance, and they just plot those in. So if a certain college has a specific scholarship that is tied to their college, that's what will be popped into here. The National Scholarship Search is something that's not specifically tied to a college. It's just anybody who's wanting to give some money, and then they will pop it in there. The one that just says Scholarship Search is managed by our district. And so our career specialist, when we get certain scholarships, she works on those usually about once a week or once every other week, and she pops those into here. Now, as students begin to favorite things, then it will be filtered into this favorite scholarships. And that's where students can click on, say, they just want to do a search and they don't have time to apply right away. They can just go through and they start to favorite things. And then instead of going back to that long list again, they just go to their favorite scholarships. And that's where they can access the ones that they can then take some time to actually apply for those. So in the planner one, it says, how do I get there? So for the high school and beyond plan, this is where we have tasks. So when a student, instead of looking at colleges, they hit planner, that tab at the top, they will see the tasks that they are assigned to do for the high school and beyond plan. There's also an area where they can make their own goals. And I believe that at least for certain schools, they have had students put their SMART goals in this area. This to-dos list is something that students can manage themselves. They can use this as their planner. So we've got so many options. If students are more of a paper and pen one or a pencil one, they can do that. Where they have the tangible one, many students use their phones. Some students might use the calendar that's on Schoology. But here's one more place that students can put down their to-dos, or maybe they just want to have their to-dos that's specific to their high school and beyond plan. In here, they've got a calendar view. And then in curriculum, there's some things that students can do on their own if they want to explore a little bit more. They're little lessons that are geared toward their specific grade area. So if they wanted to look at something that's more about their personality, and if they look at their personality type, and then they see possibly how that can tie to certain career clusters or things that just give them ideas, not prescribing things, but just letting them do some exploration. And that's the goal here, is for our kids to have a tool where they can do a lot of exploring and discovering of themselves and what their likes and dislikes are. I really love the favorites because as they do that, it's just going to help filter out a lot of the information that we have that's so much there. So again, as they click on the heart that's to the right, so past the planner, then it will pull up any favorite courses that they've put down, career clusters, colleges they're thinking about, what they're applying to, and their favorite scholarships. So this is where, as they've been clicking on their favorites, they can either go to each tab or they just click on this heart and they'd be able to take a look at all the ways that they can, all the things that they've favorited. And I believe that maybe there's one more, that there's a tab to the right of that. I think it looks like a global tab, and that's where a student will click on to change the language. So I remember earlier on, I said that this has a language where they can change it to a different language if they wanted to. So parents, you might be asking, how can we access Naviance? There's supposed to be a rollout this spring. Stay tuned on that one, but in the meantime, still have your child log into their Naviance account. Just say, hey, can we take a look at this? I saw this webinar last night and Mrs. Amrine was mentioning some things. Can we take a look at that? They can pull that up on their Chromebook and then just take some time to ask some meaningful questions like, what's one career area you're interested in? What's one goal you might have for the year? And would you show me the different tabs that's on each of Naviance? Can we go through those? So together you're discovering some of those things and maybe asking them, what's some of the tasks that you've done and what have you learned? Now, between all of the middle schools and the high schools, they're all kind of in different places. So just because you might have a friend that has a student that is, say, going to Harbor Ridge, they might have done some things that somebody at KPMS might not have. And that's because depending upon, again, how the administrators and the counselors are all rolling things out, we're not all in the same place. We're not all as delved in because some schools are piloting some things that others are not, but your kids are not behind other students. Everybody's on an equal plane, and that's what's great about Naviance. And so as we roll out tasks, again, they're either done in the advisory or they're done in curriculum areas. We're going to make sure that every student is getting them equitably, and we've already made allotments for the students who are in Running Start and off campus, making sure that they can access things through Schoology, that they know that there are tasks that are uploaded. We also, the counselors have met with them when they come in to talk with them and make sure that they are prepped. So those Running Start students who aren't in an advisory, that's how we're also allowing those students to know what's going on there. And one more thing, and then I'm going to, I believe this is my second to the last slide, is that wanted to let you know that in March, we're going to be starting registration. So there will be middle school visits by myself, a post-secondary and career counselor, starting next week. And then there will be career pathway samples that will be provided. So as the students have been exploring in middle school and they're looking at maybe the business and marketing, or maybe they got the engineering and technology, or arts and communication, science and natural resources. So we've got these different pathways that they can do. On Schoology, we'll be posting some possible sample courses that they could take throughout their 4 years, but really next year going into the freshman year, it's almost kind of prescribed for them a little bit. So there's not lots and lots of choices. And so I want to make sure that those 8th grade to 9th grade parents know that even though you might see this 4-year plan with all of these courses, really just kind of focus on the next year and what's going to prep them for maybe that sophomore year too. So we just don't want you to get too overwhelmed with all of the choices. And then the middle school and high school information they're going to be rolling out either in classes or in homerooms in terms of the dates. And again, this is all in March. There are going to be Rising Freshman Parent Nights for both Peninsula and for Gig Harbor, and you might even have already gotten some of those dates that you can put those down to save those. And so what we're trying to do is help students make that connection between Naviance, the surveys that they're taking, and then their post-secondary goals, and then course selection. So that's our goal for this coming month. And we wanted you all to know about the tool of Naviance and how these students have already been doing some exploration. So now questions and wondering. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing, and I'll go ahead and take a look at your the Q&A. I believe the recording you'll be able to access the videos, so you'll be able to hear those. If somebody, the person that asked the question about student privacy protected, I believe that only, it's not like colleges can see how students answered questions or surveys or if they favorited colleges. Naviance does not share that information out. So if that's the question and the heart behind what you had there, how is the student privacy protected? It is protected. The people who see the reports, they're just reports to see, it's the counselors who can see that. It's not like every staff member can see how student answered certain ways. It's for us to be able to have conversations about what they want to do post high school. You're welcome, everybody, those who said thank you. And again, it's the end of my presentation. So how do the high schools prioritize who get the classes they want? Oh, so right now what students are doing are not specifically requesting a specific class and it's going to be put in a schedule. We're getting requests from students to make sure we have enough sections of, say that you've got regular 9th grade English and honors English for the 9th grade. And then we want to make sure we have enough sections for those who request. And so then once that's done and they build the master schedule, then everything gets rolled at the same time. And sometimes it is just sort of just luck of the draw, so to speak. And then a lot of times there's shifting that happens. And it's really rare that a student is unable to get what they can. It does happen that a student is not able to get what they've chosen and what they requested on their first, but sometimes if they don't get it in one year, they might be able to get it the next. You're welcome. I'm so sorry about the technology, but thank you. As far as getting information on Running Start, so if the student is a sophomore, there were information nights, and depending upon where they might want to go, whether it's Olympic College or TCC, those specific community colleges have had information nights, or you can connect with them directly. And again, if they are a sophomore or a junior, there is something in their Schoology folder that tells the steps for doing Running Start, or you can also contact their school counselor directly. So again, this is for sophomores and juniors. And if you want to know just general things about Running Start, you can email me and I can just let you know kind of how things run that way too. Thank you, everybody, for being here. If anybody else, if you have any other questions, I'll entertain those. Otherwise, thank you for coming. I sure appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.